And we are recording. So everybody's ready to rock and roll. We're just going to get this thing bad boy started. We got 27 people on, so we got a good grouping here this morning. I'm going to mute everybody. Done. I'm going to take Mr. Putnam, where you are. There you are. Unmute you. And I'm going to make you the co-host.
Wow.
Chris, are you there?
I sure am.
You're a somebody now, big boy. You're a somebody. Ready to rock and roll. Well, good morning, boys and girls. Thank you very much for being on this morning's call. We happen to have Mr. Chris Putnam, who has been around since Moses parted the Dead Sea or Red Sea. So we're going to have a whole bunch of questions for him. A lot of really good questions here this morning for Chris. But before I get into it, I just want to go over a couple of things. Number one, I've had a lot of people ask me this. Yes, today is the last day for orders for March Madness. What is happening as far as the belt competition is, I do not know. I haven't been able to get any final answers on that. But I do know that there might be something happening. So I just wanted to put it out there so everybody at least knew that. Also, I'd like to everybody know, starting tomorrow, from tomorrow to the end of the week, will be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I'm going to be taking attendance, just going to be writing down the names of everybody's on the call. And then this week, and then every week after that, everybody who's in there for the whole week is going to go into a draw. And I'm going to pull a name out each week, and I'm going to pay for one night's hotel at the convention. I'm optimistic. I want to believe that convention is still going to go on. I believe the whole world's going to have sorted this thing out by then. So just want to let people know we need to get as many people on these calls, participating as much and sharing the ideas as much as possible. So that will give a really good chance for everybody to win a chance to win the convention hotel rooms. Before we get into the interview, the other thing I want everybody to start thinking about is, what can you do to be ready? If you're a safety advisor, what can you do to be ready to become a dealer when this is all said and done? How can you come out of the gates really strong, prove your point? One of the things that I always, people say, what did you love about direct sale business? The thing that I personally always loved about the direct sale business the most was the fact there was no seniority. If you're, the best person gets the next promotion. The best safety advisor becomes the next master distributor. The best master distributor becomes the next dealer. The best dealers, the best. You always want to make sure that people are at the top. So when you meet somebody at a convention and they're at the top, they're somebody who's doing things, you know that they passed it. You know that they're doing the things that need to be done, and that they did every single step. They were exactly where you are. So if you sit there and say, hey, how do I get where you are? They can tell you. As I covered this about 2 months ago, it's a forest, and there's a whole lot of people who run into the forest, but not everybody made it to the other side. But those of us who made it to the other side to come back and tell you, we're going to tell you the shortcuts. We're going to tell you the fastest way to get to the other side of that forest. So it's real important. Also, just to make sure everybody understands, to be put into the draw for the hotel room, it's real important that you put your name on your profile. If it says Samsung Galaxy X, I can't put that into the profile because I don't know who it is. If it says LG Stylo 5, I don't know who that is, so you're not going to get a chance to win. So please make sure you do that. Just makes it nice and easy. But that's what I'm trying to say is each person, safety advisors, put it together. Right now we have lots of time to have conversations. Talk to your dealer, talk to your crew leaders, talk to your managers. What do you have to do to make sure that you're in the best position possible when this is over? Work on your demo, work on your recruiting, work on your getting leads. A person who knows how to recruit, a person who knows how to make protections, and a person who knows how to get leads is the perfect qualified person to become a dealer. So get there. All the dealers out there, do all the things that you got to do to make sure that you get that next promotion, and you get that next opportunity. Opportunities are always going to be around. Don't ever think they're not going to be around. But the size of the opportunity continuously change. So right now we got some really big opportunities. So that's all my message I wanted to give this morning. This morning we happen to have a special guest star, Mr. Chris Putnam, who is coming on. Chris has been around, as we said before, for a relatively long time. He's got tons of experience. He's definitely in the smallest town that we have a dealership in North America. The population, I'll actually, that's one of the questions for Chris. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But Chris, you there?
Oh, yes.
Okay, good. I hope everybody's got their pens and papers handy so we can go over a whole bunch of little stuff this morning and some really good things here and some really great questions here to ask you, Chris. So we're going to get started, big boy. So it starts off if you can remember this far back, because I know the Alzheimer's might be kicking in. What year did you start in direct sales?
December of 1985.
1985.
Before
Great year, 1985. Love that year. That is awesome. Now here's one you might not have thought about, but how many cities, different cities, have you sold in?
Oh my Lord. It'd be probably easier to say the ones I haven't sold in.
Okay, why don't you name some of the cities you've sold in over the country?
Oh, let's see. We'll go backwards. Pittsburgh. I mean, obviously Detroit, Panama City, New Orleans, uh, Ohio. Uh, God, we've been just about everywhere. I did some trainings back in, Kentucky. So I've been all over.
So you're a traveling man, no question about that. Lots of experience. Okay. What do you like most about the OmniShield company and product?
Well, that's a hard one. Probably the most thing I like is the people. Uh, the group of people that they've got going is just next to none. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I've been with a few different companies, and just the people. Dave Carter, Chris Roberts, you, of course. I think that the people make it shine probably about the best.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, well, appreciate that. Now, you're consistently hitting 200 plus units month in, month out. What is the population of the town that your office is in?
There's 4,000 homeowners. County's got probably 16,000.
Okay. So if you were to take, let's say, a 1 hour drive around your office, how big would the population grow to? Would it hit 100,000?
Well, it takes you an hour to get around my lake. So if that tells you anything, we work about 16 different counties, if that tells you anything. So okay. Within about an hour and a half, but most of the counties are around the same. You know, unless you go to Traverse City or Alpena, you're talking 15 to 25,000 per county.
Okay. What's the farthest you send your safety advisors to do a demo?
2 hours.
Is that 2 hours each way?
2 hours to Flint's not so bad, but 2 hours to Alpena seems like it's a lot quicker.
Fair enough. Okay, now you're a single dad running a business, bringing up your daughter, and you're also a landlord. How do you stay organized?
I don't.
You're pretty good at getting your sales reports in there on Monday, so I certainly appreciate that.
You just got to delegate and delete the 3Ds and prioritize. You know, everybody asks how do you have so many rentals, and it's when you start with one, just like offices, you have one, then you go to two, then you go to three, and then you go, oh my gosh, I got 15 again.
I like that. I like that answer you gave: do, delegate, and delete.
The 3Ds.
The 3Ds. Well, that's awesome, man. That alone is worth the price of admission. How many home and properties do you own? That's a personal question.
Back up to 15.
Back up to 15. That's awesome.
Well, that's 10 of them are paid for, if that helps.
Listen, it's always, well, it is if you're going to give them away. We're going to have a raffle one of these days. That'll get more people on the call.
Sure.
Okay. From Sean Hesse, how do you approach a door? What is your mental psychic when you approach a door, when you're door knocking?
Well, I don't just go door to door. I like to try and make sure that people are going to be home. So when I'm out, I do a drive-by, and when I get there, I act like it was just a regular appointment. Have you ever been to an appointment where the husband doesn't know that you're coming? It ain't much different. It ain't much difference because they're going, hey, what's all this? What's this all about? And if they don't have a clue, you act like it's an appointment. And, you've got about 2 seconds flat to either get them or don't. And if they don't shut the door in your face or shun you off, then just keep talking. But we like to target our houses. We don't like to walk of shame. In other words, the rejection factor of it. So we try and hit people that we know are going to be home, so that way we have a good chance of getting in that house.
Okay, so when you're driving around, you're looking for cars in the driveway, that type of thing? Yeah,
the type of house that you can tell that they're home. I don't go with too many cars there because then there's too many people, but you can tell usually a lot of the houses around here when there's a vehicle missing or someone is possibly not there.
Okay. Sweet. From Sue Jenna, what are the common objections you get at the door when you're door knocking, and how do you handle them?
I don't really get too many objections. It's all in your approach. And, I like to, I was told not to say it, but I've said it for years. One of the first things I always say is, hey, sorry to bother you folks. And just to try and pique their attention and get them talking. And then I usually I'll step back and say, sorry to bother you folks. How you doing today? We're with Northern Michigan Fire. We're just out. We teach fire safety. You guys got a minute? And get them talking.
Okay, so just get them into a conversation.
Yeah. As long as you can get them talking and not to slam the door in your face or try and kick you to the curb, you just have a great big smile. And like I said, I try and treat it in my mind as if they already set an appointment, but the spouse just doesn't know about it. And so, yeah.
That's real good. What would you tell, this is also from Sue Jenna, what would you tell someone to get over their fear of door knocking?
Same thing you tell them is if you're going to go to an appointment where the spouse doesn't know nothing about it, there's going to be some resistance there. They're going to go, what, who are you? What's this all about? And then you got to have pretty much a quick response to whatever it is that they're saying. Pretty simple. When if they ask, what can I do or what's going on? Again, you just explain what you're doing. We teach fire safety. We're just out getting the public. We're giving these kits away. Does anybody stop by? You have to drop off one of these kits. Our company's giving away for free. Do you got a minute? And
it's as simple as that.
Just simple as that. Act like you're supposed to be there.
Fantastic. That's awesome. Okay, Mike Wynn, what's a method, attitude, or close that you've learned over the years that you feel has gotten you the most sales?
I'll say it 100 times. A good demo. If you do a good demo, you don't have to worry about closing. You can cover it before it comes up.
Right.
If you can cover the objection before it comes up, and that way it doesn't come up.
Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. Bruce Glenn wants to know, what is your favorite close for the I can't afford it objection?
My favorite close, that's probably where I fall down on the ground and start laughing and then stand back up and tell them, now tell me something I'm supposed to believe.
Okay.
Okay.
You've had good results with that?
I actually have done it a few times just to mess with people.
Okay. Absolutely perfect. That's awesome. Now, which appointment do you prefer, door knocked or office booked?
Well, I mean, again, depends on how far it is. I'll take a door knock any day if I don't have to drive 2 hours.
Right.
But obviously, a booked appointment's better. But the problem is if you don't have any appointments, you got to go out and make. There's 3 types of people in this world: people that watch things happen, people that make things happen, and people that wonder what the hell happened. So you have to decide which one you want to be. And that's how we got started door knocking. We didn't have any appointments, and we had a couple of choices: either sit around and not do nothing, or go fishing like we were, or you go out and just talk to people.
Right.
And that's the best thing about this business is, unlike a regular retail store where you got to wait for people to come in, you can always go out there and make things happen. You just got to want to be able to do that.
Fair enough. Okay, well, here's a question to you, because you've definitely had enough experience. Do you find your closing average is higher, the same, or lower if you do a demo that you've docked yourself into the demo, so you door knocked, was a blind call, you just knocked on the door, got in, and did a demo, compared to going on an office book demo? Would you say a door knocking demo is the same, or above, or below in closing average?
The same. It depends on the rep doing the demo, more so than anything, because a demo is a demo is a demo. Our approval rate's a lot higher because we're actually picking the quality of house we want to be in. Okay. We don't go to the monster houses. I mean, I tend to like to go to the average everyday Joe, and people that you can tell that have good credit or have a little bit expendable income, people that could actually, if they liked and wanted something, they could afford to get it.
Sweet, 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 sweet. Do you find it easier to knock in town or out of town?
Oh, definitely out of town. Don't even go in town. You go to the houses that nobody else stops at. Sometimes if I'm in town, I hit the main drags more than I do the neighborhoods. Again, you're going to get people that don't stop, that aren't out just going from house to house to house. You're going to get the people that they're skipped over because there's not a lot of houses. Okay. But I definitely get out of town as far as I can get.
Okay, fair enough. That makes a whole more sense. Now, who is your favorite superhero?
Oh my God, Wonder Woman.
I'm not going to, I don't know if you would just open me up for asking that question. Why?
Because she's hot.
I knew you were going to say that. You're so perverted.
I kept it clean.
So bad. Okay, do you prefer hunting or fishing?
Definitely hunting. I was a charter boat captain for a long time and can't stand the smell of fish.
Really, eh?
Nope.
Okay. No problem. What is your favorite recipe with deer meat?
Oh my gosh. My absolute favorite would be on a kebab over an open campfire with a little bit of soy sauce and right in the open flames is the absolute best.
With or without a beer?
Without beer.
Okay. Not a problem. What is your favorite sales contest you like to put up to motivate your sales reps?
My favorite contest? We actually, we tried it with this and it hasn't, we used to do Crazy Trade. That was our absolute best. We did do it about 2 weeks or 2 weeks before all this started, this Corona stuff, but we used to do Crazy Trade. Customer gets $100 off for the craziest thing they can think of that don't mean nothing to them. And then whoever brought in the craziest thing at the end of the week gets $100 bonus also.
What's the craziest thing you've ever had anybody bring in?
We got a cat in a shoebox once.
A cat in a shoebox?
A shoebox, yeah. There was a few other weird ones. We don't want to mention some of them, but yeah, we've gotten some pretty weird stuff.
Was the cat alive?
The cat was alive.
Okay. Okay, that makes a whole lot of difference.
We changed it so there's nothing that's living or breathing. We don't want any living or breathing objects because of the cat.
That's awesome. Now you started in 1985. April would like to know, how did you get started in direct sales?
I answered an ad in the paper.
What did the ad say? Do you remember?
Driver, delivery, and setup. And we had 30 people in training class. I was so excited my first day, went out to the bar and got drunk, missed my about first hour of the second day of training and begged and pleaded to come in because back then, if you missed, you weren't allowed in the room.
Right.
And Mr. Rob Coffey made an exception because I lied to him and told him I was at a test for college. And he let me back in, and I was thankful for it. And never looked back since.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. How did you get started with GHS?
Mr. Carmen Glenn and Bruce Glenn. Actually, I got pissed at Bruce because he wouldn't reply to my friend requests for a couple of years, and it was obviously his boy. And me and Fred Shoemaker a post came up that I had posted to Bruce with him on a fishing trip that we took Bruce on when he was acting like he was eating a perch, and was just trying to get a hold of Bruce just to see what he was up to and how things were going. I hadn't talked to him in years. And next thing I know, you guys were at my office, and it just happened on it was a flyer drop day, and things were pretty hectic that day you guys came. And glad you came. That's all I can tell you.
I remember that day well. And I remember all of your objections that you had as well. So it was an interesting day. And we also had a great phone call that day from April Lane, which actually turned in for the better also, who also gave me a whole lot of objections, but that's another conversation for another day. You've had a lot of opportunities, and obviously you were with another company when we were discussing things about coming on board with OmniShield, and you've had a lot of other companies obviously approach you. What did OmniShield or GHS offer that made it more appealing than other companies?
Oh my God, the overrides are just yeah, second to none. Thank you, April. Love you.
Yeah. Well, you might want
And
to thank
Joel.
Joel too, you know.
No, Joel, oh, for sure. Hey,
Maybe
you know,
you can give Joel's back if you don't want to take his, and I'll take him.
yeah, no. Well, and you know, a lot of other companies, they tell you one thing and then do another. And as soon as you hit something, they tell you, then they change the rules. And the thing that GHS has not done is, you know, I believe their word is part of the bond, and they do what they say they're going to do. And you know, they didn't think that the overrides would be as motivational as they are. So, I mean, that's a one heck of a program they got. And so, anybody that's out there that's not a dealer, you want to become a dealer, and then put your offices out. When we first started, Donna, she had some health issues. I'm not sure she was out in Vegas there. She called it mailbox money, and I didn't get that at first until the check started coming. So, hope that answered that for you.
Well, for those on this call who aren't aware, but I'm sure you are by now, Chris gets overrides in April Lane's organization, Brandon Stout's organization, Bill Siddock's organization, Joel Putnam's organization. So don't feel too bad for Chris. He's doing okay. Okay. Yeah. What is your goal for 2020 and 2021?
Office goal or personal?
Let's go with office to begin with.
Well, I'd like to put out a couple more distributors. I got a couple guys that I think that would do real well if they, once we get our heads out of the sand here, and we'd like to have a couple more stores in northern Michigan to Alpena, Traverse City, cover north. I want to go north. I hate the south. It's not that I hate the south. I just don't want to be in the city, and I'm just used to working in this area, and it's a little tougher to work here, but you just got to learn how to work your area. Sweet. Every area is a little bit different. As far as my personal goals, just to be the best dad I can be and be in my daughter's life as much as I can, just because I'm an old guy with a young daughter that, oh my God, keeps me on my toes.
I don't envy you being in your 50s with a teenager.
Oh, I'll be in my 60s with a teenager. What are you talking about?
Okay, that's even scarier or worse. Okay, fair enough. Okay, good question here also from someone, from April actually. What scares you more, success or failure?
Failure.
Okay.
Definitely failure.
Fair enough. It's a good question. And for people who might think that's a weird question, I can tell you just as many people who fall apart because they become successful, and it scares the crap out of them. So that's good that it's failure. Who are some of your mentors?
Some of my mentors. Oh, I've got one of my biggest ones. If you're talking presently, you've done a hell of a job, you and Bruce. Bruce has always been a mentor. But my biggest, believe it or not, is Ron Stead. We still talk on a regular basis. He's in a different line of work now, but he still cheers me on and roots me up and gets me back up when I'm down. And so just a couple of old boys from the old business.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What drives you every day?
My 8-year-old. Holy cow. That never had kids before, always wanted them. And so, I mean, she's what drives me to get to office every day. And, you know, she doesn't like it as much as she likes the money. She doesn't realize where the money comes from. But that's what drives me to do what I do and be able to do things for her that wasn't able to be done for myself when I was growing up.
Fantastic. Good answer. Really, really good. How important is attending conventions and workshops to building a successful organization?
Well, if you don't want to build a good, big, successful organization, don't go to the meetings. Simple. I mean, I've
What
been
do they
to a
do for you?
ton.
I mean, I remember the first convention you went to, and
Wow,
the attitude that
I
you
was just
had
gonna
coming out of it.
I was just gonna say that I've been to a ton of conventions in my over the last 35 years, and bar none, the best one I've ever been to, and I'm sure that that'll change, but 2 years ago when we went to Texas, I mean, it was an eye opener for what
It certainly was that. It was we were a little quiet at that one too, weren't we?
we were very quiet, didn't know what to expect, but it was a hell of a meeting. I'll tell you what, very impressive.
Okay. If a dealer asked you, what should I really concentrate on and get good at to grow my dealership? What would you recommend?
First off, you got to be able to be a good safety advisor. You got to know what the heck you got to learn it, do it, teach it, and you can't do it or teach it if you don't learn it. So you got to be a good safety advisor, know, and then be able to not be afraid to, because if all else fails in a distributorship, you got to be able to pick up your demo bag and go and be able to do it yourself. And that's what's kept me going this whole over my careers. Anytime that I've ever had problems with reps or anything not going the way it should go, I just went back out in the field and realized how easy it actually is. I mean, safety advisors got it made. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it's just, that is I love being able to get out of the office and not have to be stuck in the office all the time. So hopefully that answers your question.
Right?
Do delegate and delete.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, so now the same question. If a safety advisor asked you the same question, what should they concentrate on to get really good at growing their opportunity and career with OmniShield?
Well, one, you got to be able to put on a good presentation and know what you're talking about. And then you got to work. You just got to go out and work. And if there's nothing happening, again, three things. There's three types of people. Watch things happen, make things happen, or wonder what the hell happened. And so, it's never good or bad out there. It's good or bad between our ears. And again, if you don't have an appointment, that's the beautiful thing about this business. You can always go find. You can't tell me that you can't find people home, especially today. Okay, everybody's home. So, and you just got to go out and make things happen. And if you do that, you will be successful. I mean, there's no way you cannot, because people are always going to be home. I can drive, and I've said this, and I've done it in every town that I've ever worked. You can't knock doors in this town. John Glum told me that. And we happened to be in his office. I seen a customer home across the street. I wasn't a customer yet. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't knock doors? Well, we've knocked on every door in this town. And I said, well, hold that thought. I ran right across the street, grabbed a case of water out of my car, ran across the road, knocked on the couple's door, got right in with him in view from his office window, right across the street in the town that he said I couldn't get in. And, you just got to be able to want to go out and do it, work. I mean, how bad do you want to do a demo? You ain't got an appointment, go get one. It's that simple. Sure, you're going to have a little bit of rejection. I mean, there's rejection everywhere you go, but you think that's bad, pick up the phone and try and call. You can hang up a phone call. You can't get rid of someone at the door as easily. Okay, so
you've door knocked in a lot of different places in a lot of different areas, from Florida to Michigan to everything in between. And you're probably one of the best at it. I mean, I'd say probably in our company, we probably have 3 or 4 real superstars, yourself, Blaine Hesse, Sean Williams. How long do you think it took you before you got to the point where you were comfortable that you just took the rejection as water off a duck's back?
I still don't. That's why I target my houses. I'm 50 to 60% of my houses I get in that I stop at. I don't just stop at every house. So again, I want to, the houses I stop at, I want to make sure I try and target the houses so that way both husband and wife are going to be there, where I don't have to, because we have set a lot of appointments at the door, but I'd rather not do it that way because they just don't hold up as well.
You want to get an instant in the demo into the house right then and there.
Yeah, if you get, and then you get their name and number and call them back and either book an appointment or even to set it when the husband's going to be there and they call back. A lot of times they don't hold up. You gotta, your best bet is to catch them off guard. How long does it take? Well, not a minute longer than you want it to. Answering, again, talking to them and getting it. If they don't slam the door or tell you to get the hell out of there, you're in. Yeah. I mean, you're pretty much in. Now you got to qualify them, make sure that both people are there. And if you do that, I try and do that with the vehicles that are there. Again, around here, I mean, I love it when the garage doors are open and both cars are in the garage. Well, obviously, they're both there.
Yeah.
And a lot of houses don't have that here where you can tell where they park. We used to actually, even in the wintertime, we'd look for tracks pulling out of the garage and then back into the garage. So you could tell that they might have left, but they came back already.
Fantastic.
So there's different tricks you can do to minimize your amount of houses that you stop at.
Well, it's human nature to prejudge. We all do it. I know that when I go on a demo, I look for gardens. If the people's garden is kept up to date and you can see that there's flowers that are planted, if their hedge is trimmed, I get excited. That shows me that they have some pride in ownership, or they have some pride in everything they do. When you're door knocking, and that's what a lot of people here in the call this morning want to know a lot about is door knocking, because it's foreign to a lot of us because a lot of them have been spoon fed. When you're door knocking, is there anything that you prejudge that makes you get excited about walking up to the door? Is there something that you're looking for in a home?
Pink flamingos. They always buy if they got pink flamingos in their front yard.
Okay, everybody's moving to Florida.
Yeah. Now, again, I hate to say that I target them, but I look for Cadillacs, Grand Marquis. The retire. I'm a retired. I love retirees. I mean, they got checks and credit cards and A+ credit, and they're always home. I used to get yelled at, not yelled at, but because we would be done before at dark. Well, I don't like knocking doors after dark, especially with today's times. So we would literally have all of our appointments in before and be done before evening appointments. I mean, for a long time we didn't do evening appointments for years, just because we'd have 3, 4, 5, 10 sales in before it got dark, and we'd be busy the last 2 hours of the night. We'd be driving home.
Okay, that's good. So what's your favorite line when you go up and knock on the door? Husband answers the door. Hey, sorry to bother you. We're with Northern Michigan Fire. We're giving these 167 piece emergency kits away. You got a minute? We teach fire safety. How long is it going to take? Not a minute longer than you want it to. I mean, seriously, what are you selling? Well, we teach fire safety. We do show some state-of-the-art fire safety products. How many fire extinguishers you got, sir? I got 1. Okay, great. Did you know they recommend having 3? No, I did not know that. What would I do with 3? Well, they recommend having 3, but if you have 1, the number 1 spot to keep it, most people do not keep it there. Probably your number 1 spot's your kitchen or garage, and they do recommend it. Your number 1 spot would be in your bedroom. Most fires happen at night and while you're sleeping. And do you mind if we check that for you? Do you got a minute? And you're just creating a conversation and just casually creating the interest without realizing. Have you ever had a grease fire? Yeah, had one. Okay, so we're going to teach the family how to put out a grease fire, and just in case you ever have one. Again, we teach a little bit about fire safety. We can check your smoke alarms, your fire extinguishers, get you just a little bit better prepared in the event that you ever have a fire. You got a minute? Wife home? Come on in. Is your wife home? What's her name? Hi, Brenda. I love it, Chris. That's awesome. Well, Chris, I want to thank you so much for today because you really some great answers to some really great questions. Just final thoughts and advice that you would give to the International Lifesavers, to everybody who's on the call today.
I'll keep your chin up. This is going to get over soon, and people will be home more. They're not going to be out and about. So if you don't have appointments, if you need any advice, or I would be more than happy to walk you through on how to do it. It's real simple, but if you don't have an appointment, go get one, because people are going to be home. And do what we do, teach fire safety. Obviously, we're going to show state-of-the-art fire safety products. We don't want to show you a problem without a solution. And I feel that OmniShield is the best that's out there. There's bar none. There's nothing that can compare to. I mean, I feel good at night sleeping with knowing that if anything does happen, I'll be alerted to it. So, but yeah, just go out and make things happen. If there's nothing, because appointments are going to be a little bit tougher to get when we first start out, because we're starting back from scratch again. So you can either do your shows, call your callbacks, but when there ain't nothing happening, you go out and make something happen, and you go out and just talk to people, go visit with some people, and you'd be surprised that people are receptive as long as you don't look like you're there to rape and pillage them. You know, you dress up a little bit. I like wearing my shirt and tie, especially if I'm out knocking doors. I like to dress professional, look professional, and if you look, dress, and act professional, they're going to treat you like professional. So, and then you won't get the rejection. Yeah.
Really appreciate that. I just thought of a question myself. How often have you been mistaken for a Jehovah's Witness when you knocked on the door?
Never, because for a while, because when I first moved Houghton Lake about 10 years ago, Kirby's real big here. And I mean, I had 5 offices around me. So everybody was, so we actually started going, hey, sorry to bother you. Nope, we're not with Kirby. Okay. But we'll take it on trade.
That's awesome. Chris, I want to thank you so much today. It was an awesome call today. Very, very much appreciated. Hopefully everybody got a lot out of it. I'm sure that they did, because there was some great answers there. Really appreciate you taking the time, and really happy that you're on the team. Final thoughts, guys, is it's a funny thing, but what Chris just finished saying there, and if something's not happening, go out and make things happening. I was watching a show last night, and there was a sentence, and lately I've been writing down whenever I hear something really profound, and it was really simple. There are decisions that are thrust upon us and decisions we get to choose to make. We got to know the difference, and we got to make sure we do that. So it's really important. That's really exciting. Today's contest is going to be a $25 Amazon gift certificate. There's going to be 3 questions to answer. The first one is name 2 of the 3 books between Sean and Mike that they recommended yesterday. There was 3 books recommended. All you got to do is name 2 of them. Number 2, on Global Peak, which video mentions coronavirus? Which video mentions coronavirus on Global Peak? And number 3, how long did Ray Jones work part-time before he became full-time in the business, in the direct sales business? How long did Ray Jones work part-time before he became full-time in the direct sale business? Let's have a fantastic day. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call today. We're going to do this again tomorrow. Remember, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, everybody who attends, as long as you attend all 3 meetings, I'm going to put your name in a draw to pull a name for a night at the convention, hotel night, and we're going to do it every week from now until this is over with. Thank you very much. Let's have a fantastic day, and really much appreciate everybody. Rock and roll, guys and girls.